Hello learners, welcome back to our SQL for Data Science course. And today in this course we are going to see the SQL case study 2. Okay, and the name for this case study is Burger Bash. Seems interesting, right? So let's begin. So this is the introduction. You know what? I have started a new business of selling burgers. Why? Because I read on my Instagram feed that burger is the new future. Okay, but I knew that burger alone was not going to help me get seed funding to expand my new burger empire. So I had one more genius idea to combine with it. Okay, so what I was going to do, I was going to Uberize it, which means I was going to launch a burger runner. So I created recruiting runners to deliver fresh burger from Burger Runner headquarters, and also maxed out my credit card to pay freelance developers to build a mobile app to accept orders from customers. So this is a schema that I used for my burger bash. I had 4 tables. First, I have burger names, wherein I have stored the burger ID and burger name. Next, I have the burger runner, wherein we have the runner ID and the registration date. Then we have the runner orders, which means the orders that the runner have accepted. In that we have the order ID, runner ID, pickup time, distance, duration, cancellation. Next we have the customer orders, wherein which we have the order ID, customer ID, burger ID, exclusions, extras, and order time. Let's see the values and these 4 tables in detail. So this is the burger name table, wherein you can see we have 2 columns as I mentioned earlier. This is the burger ID and the burger name. There are 2 burgers. First is the meat lovers burger and next it is the vegetarian burger. And the respective IDs are 1 and 2. Next we have the burger runner table. We have 4 runners in our business now. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and 4. These are the IDs of the runners and these are the registrations date. 1st January, 3rd January, 8th January and 15th January. So on the current count we have 4 runners in our burger bash business. Next, this is the burger runners order. So we have the order ID. Okay, the runner ID, which means which runner has delivered this order ID. Then the pickup time. Okay, then the distance that the runner has traveled to deliver the burger. Then the duration for which he traveled and the cancellation. Okay, there are 2 reasons for cancellation: restaurant cancellation or customer cancellation, and also certain null values, okay, for which no cancellation has been done. And the last table is the customers table, customer orders, wherein we have the order ID, the customer ID, burger ID, exclusions, which means what elements are excluded in the burger by the customer, then extras, that which elements are added extra in his burger, and this is the order time. Okay, so we have seen all the tables in detail and the schema that we have used. Now these are the case study questions that we are going to solve in this case study. Okay, there are total 10 questions and it includes all the 4 schemas or the 4 tables that we have seen. Okay, it will cover all the 4 tables and it also includes 2 or more tables at a single time. Okay, such queries are also present. So let's before solving these queries, let's open our MySQL workbench. Okay, so I've already created a connection and you know that we have 4 tables, right? So attached in the case study we have given the table creation and data insertion queries for all the 4 tables. I'll show you how to import that and how to run that. So once you download all the 4 tables and the queries, what you have to do, go in this file option, then you have to select the open SQL script. Click on this. Then you can browse to your folder, like in which folder you have stored it. So I will open this and these are the 4 files. See, this is for the This file is the queries file in which we have solved our case study questions. All the other 4 files are the table creation files. So suppose I open this burger name table file. So in this you can see we have the create table and the insert into, which means we have created this burger name table and then we have inserted 2 values, because you know that in a burger name table we have 2 values. The 2 values are meat lovers and vegetarian. So similarly, while creating the schema as well, we have inserted it in 2 values into it. Okay, and the data type that has to be specified is also given in this schema that we just saw. Okay, you can refer that, and also you can create your own table. Okay, similarly you can import the other scripts as well. Suppose this is the customer orders script. So this is the customer orders table wherein all values are already given. Okay, for solving the case study questions, I prefer that you use the tables that we have already given. But if you want to practice your own questions, then you can also use your own data. Okay, but to get to know the correct answers for our case study questions, I prefer you to use our schema. Okay, so once you create the schema, so now I will use this schema because I've already created it. I'll not create it again. You can run this entire script to create the table in your specified database. So I'm using this database C3 that I've already created. So I've entered the database. Next, what we will do, let's see the first question. So the first question is, how many burgers were ordered? What does this mean? That how many total burgers were ordered. So this information will be obviously present in a runner orders table. See, okay, because we know that each runner has delivered a burger. Okay, but in our customer orders, we have only the burger ID. Okay, and if you can see that these orders are also repeated, correct? So we will get the correct information from the burger runners table. So let's solve this query. This is the question number 1. So I'll just put a mark over here. This is question 1, which is what is the count of totals? How many burgers were ordered? So select count. What count we will select? The number of orders, okay, from orders table. So we are simply selecting the total count of rows in the table runners order from runner orders. Okay, we will simply select the number of rows. So if you see, the number of rows is 10. See, 1, 2, 3 up till 10. So these are the total burgers that were ordered. So let's see what answer we get. So you see the number of orders is 10. Okay, so this was our first question. The second question is, how many unique customer orders were made? Okay, so as I already have shown you that in the customer orders table, see, a single customer has ordered multiple times. See, your customer ID 101, 101 again, then 102, 102. 103 is present 3 times. So we want to know the unique customers. Okay, so what we will do, we will use the distinct operator over here. First, let me specify question 2. What we will do, select count distinct order ID. Okay, because we have the order ID column as unique orders, okay, and from customer orders, because we want to know the customers, the unique customers, correct? So select this and run. So you see there are 10 unique orders, okay, in our table. If in the question they have asked the unique customer orders, but instead if they had asked that how many unique customers are present, then what you had done is you have written over here customer ID, okay, instead of order ID, because you can see that, see, customer IDs are repeated over here. So if you wanted to know the unique customers, then you have to put the customer ID in that place. But in the question, it has been asked that what are the unique customer orders. So for that, you have put order ID. Let's also check the unique customers. So what you will do? Customer underscore ID. So you see there are 5 unique customers, correct? Let's move ahead to the next question. How many successful orders were delivered by each runner? So what does in our case successful order means? See, if you had referred the runner order table, in that you have a column called cancellation. So if the value is such, restaurant cancellation or customer cancellation, what does this mean? That it is an unsuccessful order. Why? Because the order hasn't been delivered, correct? It has been cancelled. So it is an unsuccessful order. But what we have to find out in the question, how many successful orders were delivered. So what you will find out, simply for which the cancellation values are null, you will find out that values. So let's do that. Question 3, what you will do, select runner ID, comma, count distinct order ID. Okay, so we are going to check how many orders, okay, how many successful orders. So for that we are using count as successful orders, okay, and from runner orders, this is the table name, correct, where cancellation is null. Because I had already explained that the cancellation should be null. Why? Because your unsuccessful cancellation has some value, okay, in our table, which is restaurant cancellation or customer cancellation. So wherever the cancellation is null, that are successful orders, correct? Next, we have group by runner ID, order by successful orders. This is not necessary, but let's do it. Successful orders in the descending order. Okay, in the question we have asked that how many successful orders were delivered by each runner. So we want to find out the count of successful orders by each runner. So for finding out for each runner, we have used the group by function. Okay, so for each runner ID, it will find out the successful orders. So where cancellation is null, and it will order it by the successful orders in the descending order, which means the highest number of successful orders will be displayed first. Let's run this. So you see the runner ID 1 has made 4 successful orders, runner ID 2 has made 3 successful orders, and runner ID 3 has made 1 successful order. Let's check the data for runner ID 4. See, runner ID 4 hasn't made any orders for now. That is why no data has been displayed about runner ID 4. Okay. Let's move ahead with the 4th question now. How many each type of burger was delivered? So what you want to know that how many of each type? We have 2 types in our case, right? First we have the meat lover, and next we have the vegetarian. So we want to find out that how many of each type were delivered. So first let's write down the query and then I'll explain the query to you. So what we are doing is select p underscore burger name, comma, count c dot burger ID as delivered underscore burger underscore count, okay, from customer orders as C. So here the C table is nothing but the customer orders table, and we are going to join it on the runner orders table as R, and the common column between them is the order ID, correct? So C dot order underscore ID equals to R dot order underscore ID. Again, you're going to join it with the burger names. So join burger underscore names, and we are referring this as P on C dot burger ID. This is the common column, is equals to P dot burger ID. Okay, where R dot distance is not equal to 0. Okay, with that will specify that the burger has been delivered successfully. Group by P dot burger name. Why we are grouping it by burger name? Because we want to find out the count of burger, each type of burger. Okay, count of each type of burger that was delivered, not that was ordered. Ordering and delivering is different. Okay, a order can be cancelled once made, but delivering means successful order, correct? So that is the difference between delivered and ordered. So here delivered, for specifying delivered, we have used this condition that R dot distance is not equal to 0, which means some distance has been covered and the order has been delivered successfully, correct? So I'll explain the query first to you. Before that, let's run this and find out the output. So you see that meat lovers 9 burgers were delivered, okay, and vegetarian 3 burgers were delivered. So how we have done this? In this query, we have joined 3 tables. Which ones? The runner orders, the customer orders, and the burger name. So you see, in the runner orders table, we only have the order ID and the runner ID. We don't have the customer information, correct? But in the customer order, we have the customer information, the burger ID, and the order ID, correct? But in the burger name, we have the burger ID and burger name. So what we wanted to find out? We wanted to find out the count of each type. So, but the type name is present in burger name, correct? So that is why we had to join 3 tables, because we wanted the common information from them. Here the common information first will be the type, that is meat lover or vegetarian. Next will be the count of delivered orders. The count of delivered orders will be present in the runner table, because here we have the duration from which we will know that if the burger is successfully delivered or not. Okay, and the order information is present in the customer orders. See, here we have the burger ID, from which we can know that which burger ID has been ordered by the customer, correct? So that is why we have joined all the 3 tables. See, we select the burger name from the P table, which means the burger name table. This is the burger name table, P. From that, we have selected the burger name column and the count of burger ID from the C table. C table is the customer orders table. See here, this is the C table and this is the burger ID. So we have had this count, okay. See, count of C dot burger ID from customer orders C, and we have joined the 3 tables based on their common columns, and then we have applied this condition where R dot distance is not equal to 0, and we have finally grouped it by the burger name. Okay, it is a simple operation. We have just joined the 3 tables to get the common information from it. Okay. Next, there is the 5th question. Question number 5. Let's read out the question first. How many vegetarian and meat lovers were ordered by each customer? Now here is the difference, that was ordered. Okay, now you don't want to consider that it was delivered. It can also be cancelled, okay, but it has been ordered by each customer. So you have got one hint that you're going to use the group by on the customer ID, and you are going to find out the count of vegetarian and meat lover burgers that were ordered. So let's see how to do that. Okay, so what you will do, the strategy will be the same. You're going to join two tables. You have been understood that till now. Okay, so customer ID p dot burger name. Why burger name? Because we want to find out the count of the two burgers. So count p dot burger underscore name as order count. Let's give the name as order count from customer orders, because in this table we have the information of the orders and the customer ID as well. Let's give the alias as C, and we're going to join it with the burger names table. Burger names as P. Okay, and give the common column which is the burger ID. Okay, you can see over here. See, burger name has the burger ID and customer orders also has the burger ID. So the common column is burger ID. Burger underscore ID is equals to p dot burger underscore ID. Correct? Join is done. Okay, and this you will group by based on the customer ID and also on the burger name. Group by customer ID is from C p dot burger name. Let's order it by the customer ID. You can also neglect this step, but I've done it. So let's run this first. Okay, you see, this is the customer ID, and customer ID 101 has ordered the meat lovers burger 2 times. And similarly, 101 has ordered the vegetarian burger 1 time. Same is for the other customers. Okay, for each customer and for each burger type, we have calculated the count. Okay, what we have done, we have selected first the customer ID, then the burger name and the count of the burger name for each type as order count, and we have joined the two tables, customer orders and burger names on the common column, and then we have found out the count. Okay, based on what? Based on the groups, first customer ID and then the burger name. So it will find out the count of burgers for each customer and for each burger type. Okay, and this is the output. Let's move ahead with the question 6. Let's read it out first. What was the maximum number of burgers delivered in a single order? Okay, so what you want to find out? The maximum number of burgers delivered in a single order. For that, for finding out the maximum, first you will need to find out the total number of burgers delivered in a single order. From that, you will find out the maximum by applying the max function. So first, for finding out the number of burgers delivered in a single order, we are going to use the concept of common table expression, which is CT. So let's begin. The name of this CT will be burger underscore count underscore CT as select C dot order ID, comma count of C dot burger ID, which means the number of burgers that were ordered, as burger per order. Okay, which means how many burgers were ordered in a single order. From customer orders table, in this also we want to join two tables, customer orders as C and runner orders. Join the runner orders as R, okay, and give the common column C dot order ID is equals to R dot order ID again, okay, and then where R dot distance is not equal to 0, which means the order has been delivered. Okay, I had already explained it to you. And group by c dot order underscore id. Okay, this is the CT that we have created. And what we want to select the maximum from it. So we're going to use the max function. Okay, and we're going to select the max of the burger per order. As burger count, or you can give the same name as the column name from the burger underscore count underscore CT. Okay, so first let's run this and check the output. So you see this is the output, which is 3, which means that for each order, okay, maximum number of burgers that were ordered were 3. Okay, which means suppose suppose there are 4 orders in a day. Okay, but each order has different number of burgers, right? A customer might order 2 burgers, another customer would order 1 burger. Okay, certain customer would order 4 burgers. So like that, we had to find out that what was the maximum number of burgers delivered in a single order. So the output is 3. That means 3 burgers were delivered at a max in a single order. So let's see what we have done. We have created a CT, which is a common table expression. It is a temporary table, okay, which can be referenced inside the script only. And what we had added in that CT, we have selected the c.order ID. Okay, the customer orders dot order ID, this column. Okay, then the count of the burger ID. Here, this is the count of the burger ID, correct? As burger per order, this was the name that was given for this count. From customer orders as C, join runner orders as R, based on their column, okay, based on the common column, where distance is not equal to 0, and it had grouped by on the order ID, which means simply for each order, okay, the count of burgers were found out. Okay, only that is the simple logic in this query. And finally, we found out the max number of burger per order. This burger per order is nothing but this count that we had found out of the burger ID. Okay, just this simple query, but we have used CT for solving it. Next, the question number 7. First, let's read out the question. For each customer, how many delivered burgers had at least one change and how many had no changes? Okay, so let's understand what is the meaning of change. See, in this customer orders table, you have 2 tables, 2 columns. First one is the exclusions and this is the extras column. So what does this exclusion and extra means? That exclusion means, suppose in a burger we have various vegetables or sauces. So suppose I don't want to add ketchup in my burger, so I can exclude that from my burger. So that is a change that I have made to the recipe, correct? And suppose I want to add extra cheese in my burger, so that is also a change made in my recipe. So that is the meaning of change. Okay, so wherever there is this value null, okay, these are null values, that means that no change has been made to the burger. Okay, so we need to find out such burgers or such orders where no changes had made, okay, or at least see how many delivered burgers had at least one change and how many had no changes at all. So let's find this out. So what we are going to do is select. In this we are going to use the case when concept. I'll explain to you. So first we are going to select the customer ID. Next, let's use the sum case when c.exclusions is not equal to a null or an empty space, or c.extras is not equal to an empty space. Then what value you will give? You will give the value as 1, else you will give the value as 0. Just a second. End. Okay, this is the ending statement for this case when. As let's give this name. This is the condition for at least one change. Okay. Next we will find this similar conditions for no change. Okay. For no change, you know that you will have the null value. Correct. For no change, you will have the null value. So what you will do? Simply you will provide the empty value over there. Case when c.exclusions equal to space and similarly here you are going to use AND because both the conditions should be satisfied. Then only you can say that no change has been made. Okay, because even if one change has been made, then it will count as a change. Correct? So you will use AND over there. Else 0. End this as no change. Correct? Because these are the conditions for no change. From customer underscore orders as C, join runner underscore orders as R on C dot order underscore ID is equals to R dot order underscore ID. Okay, over here also you will specify the distance condition because we want the order to be delivered. Okay, we want only the delivered orders. Group by customer ID because we want this data for each customer. Correct? Again, let's order it by the customer ID. Okay, because we want this for each customer. Correct? So that is why we had put the group by customer ID. Let's see the output first. Okay, so you see for the customer 101, 0 change is C. At least one change is also 0. No change is also 0. 102. Okay, then 103. 3 times they have made at least one change. 104 is also made 2 changes. 105 is also made one change. Okay, so what we have done is we have used the case when concept, wherein see first we extract the customer ID, then we make certain conditions first for at least one change. So what the condition will be that the exclusion column or the extras column, the value should not be a null or an empty space. This is the symbol for not. Okay, which means not equal to. So it should not be equal to an empty space. So if it is not equal to empty space, then you will give the value as 1, or else you will give the value as 0 and store it in the at least one change column and find out the sum of it. Next, for the no change condition, you will consider that it is null. Okay, both the columns should be null. If both of them are null, then the value will be 1 or it will be 0 and it will be stored under no change. Okay, and then you join the two tables, okay, because the data is combined in those two tables. Then you consider that the distance covered is not equal to 0, which means the order has been delivered. You group it by the customer ID and also order it by customer ID. Okay, so this was the 7th question. Next, let's move ahead with the 8th question. So, what was the total volume of burgers ordered for each hour of the day? So, what you want to find out, the volume of burgers. Volume means simply the count of burgers, okay? Only the words have been used for tricking the question, but the meaning is the same. That is, count of burgers ordered for each hour of the day. Let's do that. This is the question number 8. And what you want to find out, select. Let's extract. Okay, we will be using the extract function for extracting the hour from our date. Hour from order time, because we want only for each hour, correct? As hour of day. This will be the column or name. Then you will select the count. Just let me put comma. You will select the count of orders. So simply you will give count of order ID as burger count. From which table you want to do this? From the customers table. Because in that table you have the order ID, the order time present. See, here you have the order time, correct? In the runners table you don't have the order time. You have the pickup time. You don't have the order time. But you want the orders for each hour. So that is why you're going to use the customer table, customer orders, group by, you will group it by based on the hour, correct? So here also you will specify the hour using the extract function. Extract hour from order underscore time. Okay, close the query. Now let's see the output. Run. So you see 11th hour of the day, the burger count is 1. 13th hour, it is 3. 18th hour, 3. 19th hour, 1. And 21st hour, 3. Okay, there's also one column, 23rd hour, 3. Okay, so this was the 8th question. Okay, it was a simple question, just you had to use the extract function of the date time manipulation concept. Next we have the 9th question. How many runners signed up for each 1 week period? Okay, that means that how many runners have signed up, which means have registered for each 1 week period. So this is also a question of date time manipulation. Let's see how to solve that. So first we will select extract. Here we are going to use the week. So we will extract the week from registration date, correct? Signed up means they have registered. So for that we are going to use the registration date as registration week. We'll give the name as registration underscore week, correct? And then you have to find out the count, that how many runner IDs have signed up for that particular week. So runner sign up from burger runner, because the runner details are present in the burger runner table. And similarly you will group it by based on the week, because you want to find out that how many runners have registered for a particular week, correct? So here also you will extract the week from the registration date table column, correct? It is just similar to the above query, only the concept and the tables have changed. This scenario, okay, this is week. Now it should run. Okay, so you see this is the 0th week, which is the first week. There was one runner who had signed up. Then the second week, 2 runners signed up, and in the third week, 1 runner has signed up. Signed up means register. So you have simply selected the week from the registration date, then the count of the runner ID, and just simply you have grouped it by the week. Okay, it was a simple query. You just need to know the correct functions that you have to use at the correct place. Next, what was the average distance traveled for each customer? So you get 2 hints that for each customer, which means you have to group it by the customer ID. Then average distance, which means you are going to use the average function. Okay. Another hint is traveled for each customer. Traveled means the distance should not be equal to 0. Correct? The condition that we have used so long for in all the queries, that the distance should not be equal to 0. The duration. Okay. So let's select c.customer ID because we want the value for each customer, correct? The average distance for each customer. So you will simply display the customer ID. Along that, you will display the average distance. For that, we use the average function. Give the name as average distance to the column. Okay, from customer orders as C, join runner orders because we want the combined data, because the distance that has traveled by the runner is present in the runners table. Okay, but the information about orders and information about customer is present in the customer orders. That is why we need to join the 2 tables. Sorry, this is runner orders as R. We are going to join it based on the common column, which is order ID. Order underscore ID equal to R dot order underscore ID. Okay, and then the condition that the duration should not be equal to 0. And simply we will group by it based on the customer because we want the data for each customer in our business. Okay, let's run this first. So see, for the customer 101, the average distance traveled was 20. For the customer 102, the average distance traveled was 16.73. For 103, it was 23.39, 104, it was 10, and for 105, it was 25. Okay, so this was a simple query wherein we wanted to find out the average distance traveled for each customer. So we simply select the customer ID, the average distance. We join the 2 tables based on their column, okay, based on the common column. Then we find out, we put the condition as duration is not equal to 0 because we wanted to find out the average distance. So the duration should not be equal to 0, and we grouped it by the customer ID because we want the data for each customer. Okay, so this was the 10th query, and with this we have successfully solved all the 10 questions of our case study. Okay, while going through the case study, if you get any extra questions, okay, you can create those questions, you can solve those questions, and if you get stuck anywhere, you can join our Skype mentorship. Okay, our Skype one-on-one mentorship, and you can get your doubts solved. Okay, do practice these 10 questions. Okay, you can refer to this tutorial or you can solve it on your own as well. Create your own questions, try to solve them, and ask your doubts as well. You can also refer other case studies, you can use other data. Okay, the more you solve your own questions, the more you will be in practice with these concepts of SQL. All the tables and all the schemas have been shared with you. Okay, you can refer to all these tables, and if you get stuck anywhere, you can refer to our Skype mentorship. Thank you and keep practicing.